Let's take a moment to think about how far technology has progressed in the past 20 years. Right now, you're watching a YouTube video. That wouldn't have been possible 20 years ago. There was no YouTube, and the average internet connection speed wasn't strong enough to support video streaming. If you're using a mobile phone to watch the video, you're doing something that people 20 years ago could only dream of. The progress of technology moves so fast that nobody can say for sure what's around the corner. But in this video, we're taking a look at some exciting future technologies which might be available sooner rather than later. If you're a keen video gamer, you're probably familiar with the concept of a heads-up display. It's a graphical overlay on your screen which helps you to stay on top of important information. Wouldn't it be neat if we could do that in real life? Well, thanks to emerging technology, perhaps we'll soon be able to. The University of Washington in Seattle is working on the Bionic Eye right now, and they've already built a prototype. Their Bionic Eye is actually a polymer contact lens with tiny LEDs and antenna embedded into the surface, which projects information directly onto the lens of your eyes. With a little integration work, they could display information about your heart rate and blood sugar levels, or provide subtitles in real time for people who are hard of hearing. That would just be the starting point though. Once the basic model works, why not have your emails and messages projected straight into your eye? Nobody can read them over your shoulder. One of the most exciting parts of a pregnancy is going for a scan and getting to see your baby for the first time. Ultrasound scans used to be flat, black and white images, but recently technological developments have brought us to the point of having colorful 4D scans. That's great, but we still have to travel to a clinic to obtain them. So we're looking forward to the commercial release of the Preview Pregnancy Screen. This high-tech scanner can be worn around the waist like a belt and can show you your baby in the womb whenever you want it to. Its designer is Australian Melody Hsu, who has already won an award for her groundbreaking invention. It can even wirelessly send the image to a printer for you to keep or record videos. While all the technology involved in the belt already exists, a working prototype is yet to see the light of day. We're sure it's only a matter of time. Flies around the home are usually considered a nuisance, but you can change that by coming to view them as a handy source of protein that delivers itself to your door. Eating raw flies isn't for the squeamish, so the use of a new invention might make the idea more palatable to you. The Farm 432 concept, designed by Katharina Unger, traps flies and collects their larvae as a source of protein. To put it in basic terms, it's a self-contained fly breeding machine. The larva of black soldier flies is 42% protein and is also rich in amino acids and calcium, so in vast enough quantities, it's really good for us. The device bears a resemblance to a water cooler, with a hatch on top for the larva. When the flies grow up, they fly straight into the larger chamber so they can get on with the job of making more delicious larvae. One Farm 432 unit can generate up to 500 grams of protein per week. That's enough to replace 2 entire meals. Unger says that the larva smells a little like potatoes, but tastes more like nuts after it's been cooked. Would you eat it? Someone who is born without the power of speech or has lost it due to accident or illness doesn't have many options right now. They can either use a text-to-speech machine of the kind Stephen Hawking used to use, or an electrolarynx, which has to be carried around with you at all times. Chinese scientists may recently have come up with a better way. Their wearable artificial graphene throat is a thin piece of wearable technology that's applied to the skin like a temporary tattoo. It's barely an inch long, so it's much less intrusive and unnatural than other ways of restoring voices to the voiceless. The current prototype pairs with an armband, containing a small computer and an amplifier, which the wearer can wear hidden below their clothing if they wish. The wearable patch interprets the movements of the throat and larynx as the wearer attempts to speak, and then broadcasts them through the amplifier in real time. This device is being tested right now, although it's at the early stages of learning how to recognize words. With a little programming work, it'll get there. We all know how vital a role trees play in keeping our planet alive. They literally produce oxygen for us to breathe. What if they could do more than that, though? What if they could actively clean the air around us? That's exactly what the city tree does. And this is a piece of technology that already exists. You can find city trees in Oslo, Paris, Amsterdam, Berlin, and London. Invented by Green City Solutions in Dresden, the city tree is a 15-foot tall vertical hedge, capable of doing the work of 275 trees at once. Contained in the trees are over 1,600 individual pots of moss, which extract pollutants, including soot, from the air. The bacteria in the moss literally eat the pollutants, processing the filthy air and then producing clean oxygen. Placed in the heart of a busy city, they can improve the air quality enjoyed by the people around them to no end. Thanks to a nutrient tank and a specialized irrigation system, it can even feed itself by collecting rainwater. If you're planning a trip overseas, the fastest way to get there is usually by aircraft. But air travel is both expensive and a heavy pollutant. Part of the reason planes cause so much pollution is that they require a heavy fuel load because of their weight. To solve that problem and make planes more environmentally friendly, we're going to need lighter planes. A British team from the University of Central Lancashire have found a path to a cleaner future for air travel. They've started building light aircraft from graphene. Last year, the team demonstrated the Juno, an unmanned 12-foot wide plane that serves as a teaser for what might be possible in the future. The components of the plane were 3D printed, and even the batteries are made of graphene. Graphene is the world's strongest human-made material, but is also supremely conductive and incredibly light. A plane with graphene skin can work off a lighter fuel load, and is also less at risk of ice buildup because graphene is so adept at conducting heat. Even a lightning strike wouldn't take it out of the sky, because the impact would be distributed across the plane's body. If you're a science fiction fan, you've probably seen the replicator machines used to create food in Star Trek: The Next Generation, and thought about how great it would be to have a machine that could do that in your own home. Thanks to 3D printing technology, we're well on our way to getting them. This is the Foodini, a 3D printer that can be loaded with the basic building blocks of food and turn them into a fully realized and edible product for you. It's not as fast as the Star Trek machines just yet, but it can completely print a pizza for you within 5 minutes. If you don't have 5 minutes, it can make a few crackers as a snack within 20 seconds. Right now, it doesn't work with every type of food. It couldn't print you a pork chop, for example. But the smarter the technology gets, the more items will appear on the menu. This could be bad news for takeaway companies. As well as 3D printing making food for you, it could also give you somewhere to live. The population is growing, and affordable housing is harder and harder to find. If printing your own home in less than a day becomes an option, we can see people going for it in a big way. And we'll soon know if it's possible, because it's being trialed in El Salvador at the end of 2019. The 3D printed homes trial is a collaboration between New Story and Icon, a charity and a construction firm. They've already demonstrated the capability of their technology to create houses by 3D printing a small 350 square foot house in Texas in 2018. The machine makes the house to a specified pattern, and human workers top it off by fitting the glass into the window frames and adding the roof. The current pattern includes 2 bedrooms, 1 kitchen, 1 living room, 1 bathroom, and even a porch for sitting outside, all for less than $10,000. People who grew up in the 1950s and 1960s expected that flying cars would be a reality by the year 2000. That didn't happen. But flying cars haven't been canceled as an idea. They've just been delayed until now. Car manufacturing giant Volvo recently acquired Terrafugia, a company that's been working on a flying car design for years. Their prototype is called the Transition, a car that can drive on the road but has retractable wings for flying. and it's already been approved by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration in the USA. Not only that, it's sold a few models for just under $300,000 each. Their next model, the TFX, is envisioned as the breakthrough that will make the concept popular, a car that's also a helicopter and runs on electricity. With companies like Uber and Airbus also working on flying car designs, we can't be far away from seeing the idea become commonplace. If you're someone who hates seeing the doctor or a nurse in a hospital for basic medication orders and minor concerns, perhaps you'd like to book an appointment with something like Tug, the medical robot. Tug does the basic work that bogs doctors and nurses down and eats up their time. It can deliver food and medication to patients, for example. The little box on wheels can navigate around complicated indoor and outdoor environments using sensors. Coupled with an internal map of its location, it knows where it is and where it needs to go, and can navigate around obstacles to get there. It can even call the elevator itself if its target location is on another floor. Tug is already a common sight at hospitals in San Francisco, California, and now it's demonstrated its usefulness, it's ready to move into other hospitals all over the world. Large hotel chains have also expressed an interest in Tug as a way of making room service deliveries, which would be great for us, as it wouldn't want tipping. Automated translation services aren't always great at getting the meaning of a sentence or a piece of text across. Different words can have different meanings, depending on their position in a sentence, or the words around them. With a basic translation, the nuance of that meaning is completely lost, as is the tone and the intention. Google is trying to smooth out that process with the Google Neural Machine Translation System, which is an extension of the Google Brain project. This incredibly sophisticated software makes use of an artificial neural network to make translations more fluent and accurate. It learns via the input of millions of examples of text and speech, and from that wide dataset, it can infer meaning and context. Rather than translating text piece by piece, this program should be capable of translating an entire book, along with all of its semantics, in a matter of minutes. This software is already being put to use as part of Google Translate, with more languages added all the time. As much as fuel companies and some car fanatics may not want to admit it, electric cars are the future of travel. We're starting to see them on our roads more often than we used to already. They do still have some drawbacks when compared to conventional cars, though. They need regular charging, and their range isn't as far as an equivalent vehicle with a full tank of gas. The Israeli government and their partners have come up with a way to fix that, though. Road surfaces that charge electric cars as they drive over them. A company called Electro Road are currently testing their technology on a strip of road half a mile long in Tel Aviv. And if all goes well, that strip of road will be expanded to cover 11 miles between the city and the nearest airport. Right now, it's being used to charge electric buses. Below the surface of the road is a series of electromagnets connected to copper plating on the road to charge the buses as they move over the electromagnets. Initial results have been encouraging, and the company is already in talks to bring the technology to the USA. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and enjoy watching new videos on my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you soon!